Check, please.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everything Money. I called Paul in for an emergency meeting because Paul, I flipped on the Everything Money app. I went into the chat about day trading and people said, "Oh, Peloton, let me look at the chart real quick. Just a 15-minute chart. I was going to fire up some day trading oh my God, look at this, Paul. Look at this candlestick. I had never seen anything like it." I said, "What the hell is going on?" And then of course, now they're talking in the chat. Peloton has paused its production of its bikes, treadmills. The demand is low for 2 months, Paul. They're stopping everything. This company has been in trouble for a while now, and this is certainly not going to help them. So the common person might ask, what is someone like Paul Gabriel's thoughts on a company like Peloton that just dropped 10% in about 5 minutes?
All right, so we've done some Peloton videos. I don't remember exactly what was said, but go back and watch them. I think one of the things I've always said about Peloton in the last year and a half is, can the demand from being at home continue? I have said that. Now, look at their news. They halted trading because they announced they're going to stop making bikes for the next 2 months because consumer demand dropped. Just like Zoom, just like other companies that have been hurt by COVID shutdown and were helped by COVID shutdown. This is why, guys, you have to look at a long-term perspective. If you're new to this channel, just getting us right now because of Peloton news, we're long-term value investors. We're not the meet Kevins and the stock Mo's who say they're value investors and they really don't know anything about it. We are actual long-term investors. I say no to 95% of the stocks that we go through on this channel, but I provide a process. The process on Peloton was, it's too expensive. Let's go to our 8 pillars. This is our exclusive software for just our own users. And let's look at this 5-year chart. Look at how high it got. This isn't 5 years. They only went public in October of 19. After COVID, they got as high as $165. So guys, so this is our Everything Money software. As you can tell here, look at the stock price. In January of 2021, just literally a year ago now, a year and 1 week ago, the stock was $165 a share. It is now at 31 before the price drop. What's the stock at right now? 23 bucks?
26 when they halted.
$26 when they halted trading. Okay, so I look at this saying, if I told you a year ago that the stock was going to fall from $165 to 26, you'd have said, you're crazy, you're stupid, you don't get it, Paul. Peloton changed the way in which we do all these workouts, blah, blah. Guys, very few companies change the way in which we do things. Very few. Very, very few. Peloton has a good brand. They have a great experience. I've got a Peloton in the gym and 2 more on the way. I love Peloton. I wasn't touching it. I sat there and said, can this revenue increase? Can it grow from here? Well, now they're announcing they're halting the development of the manufacturing of bikes for 2 whole months.
And Paul, this comes after yesterday. Peloton insiders sold nearly $500 million in their own stock prior to today's announcement. I mean, so obviously we should just be listening to what the higher ups are doing. They're not trusting their own investment.
Remember, executives sell stock for a multitude of reasons. What's more indicative is find the executives who are buying stock. I think that big drop has to do with back in January.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Okay.
Has to do with before the big drop in January. Guys, every investment's a present value, future cash flow. If you have 1 year aberration, big jump or big drop, are you extrapolating that out forever? You can't do that. You'll see in my videos that I'll sit there and look at a company and say, you know what? The demand was huge this year. Is it really going to build from this level? I kept saying, I was actually worried saying about Peloton. I'm like, maybe it's Peloton. Maybe Peloton could just say, we got such good market share. Everybody saw us and revenue just kept going up. But it seemed like, hey, their revenue is going to go from subscriptions. What drives the subscriptions? Sales of the units. And now they're sitting there saying we're halting production. Halting production for 2 whole months because there's too much inventory out there. Last year, if you wanted a bike, how long was the wait? Months. Now, for the 2 new bikes that I ordered, it's 3 to 4 weeks. It's a lot different. This is what, by the way, mine were treadmills, not bikes. This is what we teach when we're talking about investment. When you look at their growth level, 72% revenue growth in the last year. Look at their income statement. 109 million to $1 billion to 2.35 to 4 billion. This 109 million might have been for 1 quarter. So look at the full years, $1 billion, 2.3, 4 billion. And I just asked the reasonable question. Is this sustainable when we knew why this big jump occurred? This big jump occurred because of COVID. People couldn't go to gyms. So what did people do? They bought gym equipment. It's very logical to me. And you might sit there and say, Paul, you missed out. I did miss out. You know what I missed out on? I missed out on this. I missed out on this big drop. Because right now, it's at the point it was, when was the last time it was at $26? Right during COVID. Right before COVID. It was $33 right before COVID, guys. It's actually lower than it was after COVID. Could this be an overreaction? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is last year on $4 billion in record revenue, they still lost $630 million. They still had a negative $1.4 billion free cash flow. Negative. I like to buy companies with a history of making money and increasing revenue and profit and cash flow every single year. That's not Peloton. I will wait for Peloton. I do think Peloton's a leader right now in gym equipment, but guess what? There's still a lot of great options out there. They didn't change the world of fitness. They made it better. They didn't change it. Who changed the world? Ford, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple. There are probably 24 companies at most that changed the world. Newsflash, Peloton wasn't one of them.
If I'm a Peloton shareholder at the moment, I should be pooping my pants, I assume.
I mean, if you believe in Peloton at 160, you should really believe in it at 25. I don't get that. Like, to me, I look at it funny when people say, I believe in Peloton. And I guarantee there's people watching this video who bought it at 150 and are now pooping their pants. And I'm like, well, wait a second, but you believed in it. The future is bright no matter what happens.
Paul, let's bring it home to our 8 pillars. Pillar number 6 is their debt. We say in every video for 1,000 videos.
Well, we don't know how to compare their debt because there's no free cash flow to compare it to.
Well, how bad are they? I mean,
well, they only have $1.6 billion in debt on $4 billion in revenue. It's not terrible.
They're overreacting on Twitter that this is headed to bankruptcy, of course. So
maybe it's the time to buy then. I mean, if you apply long-term profit margin and metrics to the company, you can come up with the value because every investment's the present value of all future cash flow. There's a way to determine what Peloton's worth. It's out of my sphere of competence. My sphere of competence is not on businesses, not on publicly traded businesses that don't make money yet. I need to see a pathway to money that I can understand and say, when they get stable, they're going to lose this much money on the way to stability, and after that, they're going to make this much money. I can value that. Or I can value business that's consistently made money and increasing its revenue and profit and cash flow. Call that boring, call it boring. All I know what's not boring, I don't remember the last time I had a stock that I bought $165 and fell to 25 in a matter of 1 year.
This is, I would say for certain, probably going to go down here the next few days after this, and if not the next 2 months. So what stock?
Maybe.
What price are you loving Peloton? Is it possible to fall in love with it?
Let's go to Stock Analyzer tool. I mean, here's the problem. I think their revenue is going to fall.
Yeah.
So Stock Analyzer tool is not for companies that have falling revenue consistently. It's about companies that have increasing revenues or are so big that they're stagnant or their sales decrease will be consistent. I think Peloton will drop in revenue and then start to climb back up again. But bankruptcy, I don't know. I mean, I look at bankruptcy. Look at the balance sheet. Total current cash on hand and inventory is $2.5 billion. All long-term all debts completely are 2.91. I don't think bankruptcy is in the cards. That's a pretty healthy balance sheet where they have enough cash and inventory on hand to pay off almost all their liabilities. They got a great brand. They have recurring cash flows coming in. It's about, by the way, what did they say? They want to curtail their costs. Yeah. Listen, just like our channel's grown a ton and our costs went higher. And I just gave a budget to Tim this year for this channel. I said, here's the budget per month for the channel. That's it. We were growing very quickly and it allowed us to grow. But the difference is we didn't bring $1 in and spend $2. We brought $1 in and say, okay, how do we spend 30 cents of every extra dollar we bring in? That's it. It's just normal business. If you understand these things, understand business, you know that Planet Fitness, they were shut down for a long time. That mean the company's going under? No, it's back up and running, right? Let's look at Planet Fitness. Let's actually just look at that. Planet Fitness. Let's look at their revenues. Wow. Actually, revenues didn't fall that. Oh, you know why? Because they probably kept charging people during the downturn. But look at the revenues. 183 in 2014, 530 in 2018, 670, 464, 537. I mean, they're making a comeback here. Did they even lose money? They didn't even lose money any of these years. Guys, the Peloton thing shouldn't be a shocker, but if you pay attention and see how they're going to curtail their costs and figure out a way to make more money, great. I think they're a great brand. I think they get great equipment. I love the equipment, and I bought 2 more. That's how much I love it. And they're expensive as all get out. Like my treadmill plus that we have in the office, that's not even allowed anymore. That was a $4,400 machine or something for a freaking treadmill.
It's a great treadmill.
It's a great treadmill.
If you're drawn to these numbers, if you're drawn to looking at the financials to make better investing decisions, you can have the software behind Paul. Click the link below, everythingmoney.com. You can sign up through Patreon as well. Our prices for the software have been going up consistently every month for the past year, and so get in now. They're obviously going to increase. So that's our take on Peloton.
But remember,
go ahead,
whatever
Paul.
price you pay today, you're locked into
That's
forever.
right.
So as the prices increase, yours stays the same. That's why I sign up now, everythingmoney.com or Patreon. And also, if you sign up on everythingmoney.com, you don't pay sales tax.
You can have the app on your phone and impress your mom with it. That's what I do, Paul. You know that. So that's our take. Tickle the thumbs up. See you next video.